This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
You gotta get excited about saving people all those dollars. They can limousine ride and jet fly now with that extra cash.
And they can style and profile with a quick 10-minute phone call right now to 425-0105.
That's 425-0105. Woo!
SaveWithConrad.com. The Nation storyline continues with Ahmed, but at the same time, all of a sudden, Farooq starts cutting promos on the WWF champion at the time, The Undertaker. Boy, this has got to be quite the nod when you're able to work with the top guy, the main event, the world champion, The Undertaker. They have a match at King of the Ring 97. They go 13 minutes and 43 seconds. Meltzer gave it 2.25 stars. Of course, as you would imagine, Ahmed Johnson is going to be hanging around here, as is Paul Bearer. Chat me up a little bit about when Farooq gets the opportunity to wrestle The Undertaker on pay-per-view for the world title. I mean, this is something that didn't exactly seem possible after his sort of start and stop when he came in the year prior.
Huge deal. And I think that, it was, if you were going to get it, there may have been an attitude, get it now while you can. I think that as far as the matchup with Taker and Ron was more of a clash of styles a little bit.
Yeah.
In that it didn't gel. There wasn't a lot of great chemistry because of the two different styles. And they're very similar styles in a lot of ways.
They both probably need to be working with a smaller guy and them throw around a smaller guy, right?
Yeah. It just didn't, I don't think it worked. I don't think it was a good pairing.
Meltzer was pretty critical. He says the NOD has a lot of presence when they first started the gimmick, but they've lost a lot of steam, both through overexposure and because their television matches have cured thousands of insomnia, some of whom probably were watching to be entertained rather than be put to sleep. It didn't appear that Farooq was taken seriously as a main event heel. That said, the two worked as bad of good of a match as they could. I do think there's a fair criticism there that, because at the time I was a big WWF fan. We know how much I loved 1997, and I didn't necessarily see Farooq as a guy like a Sid Vicious or a Shawn Michaels or a Bret Hart or even a Steve Austin. I just didn't see him in that, same light. Even a Vader. But Farooq got the opportunity here. Do you think you guys had done enough with Farooq, the singles competitor, to put him in this spot? Or were we mostly relying on, they remember?
No, I think you're relying on the power of the entire group and the entire just Nation of Domination. It wasn't just like looking at Farooq versus Undertaker. It was really the Nation versus Undertaker. So that was the feeling, and that is what we were looking for as far as selling this match. Speaking of going to sleep, his criticism puts me to sleep.
Do you have, and this is maybe a weird, do you have a stance on overexposure in wrestling? Because that's certainly the accusation here that the Nation had been overexposed. Do you think that's such a thing? Is that possible?
I don't know. Ask Steve Austin. I think that if it works, is it overexposure? It depends on the talent, and it depends on how you do it. It really and truly does, and what you have to work with at the time.
Okay. Well, thanks for the non-answer.
No, it depends on the talent. A lot of people
would say
that
Nation
Stone Cold
was
Steve
overexposed?
Austin was overexposed, but it sure as hell worked for him.
Do you think the Nation was overexposed?
I don't. I really don't. I think that they were top guys put in a top position, but I don't think they were overexposed.
Let's get to the other thing in the match here. We've got Farooq getting choke slammed 4 times in the same match. Anything else to that?
Okay. Well, is that overexposed, too many choke slams or what?
No, it's just, curious about how the business evolves. Once upon a time, one choke slam would do it. And, these days.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You want to go, once upon a time, a body slam was a finish.
Correct. Or a drop kick.
Yeah.
I saw Ole Anderson win a match a couple weeks ago with a standing arm bar.
Exactly.
But we got 4 choke slams. Is this just the evolution of the business here in the Attitude Era?
Yes, it really and truly is. It's just, kicking out of finishes and all that stuff. This is kind of the beginning of that. And yes, the evolution of the business is what was finishes and many, many years ago is no longer that. The business changes and it grows.
Do you remember a moment where one of those one too many kickouts happened and you just remember it being like, what the fuck? Just in your mind, like, boy, the business has changed. Is there one that you can still go back to and say, well, it's kind of whatever, but then this one time I'll never forget so-and-so kicked out of the such and such.
It's gotten to the point, I think, and got to the point that it all becomes a blur. That to go back and find that one specific, or that was the moment, that it really has become a blur. And there's talk. I remember going back to WrestleMania 6 with Hulk and Warrior. And Hogan's finish wasn't just a leg drop, man. It was the punches, it was the big boot, and then the leg drop. For someone to move on that leg drop, that didn't happen. You don't move on the leg drop.
Right.
Because if you've eaten the boot,
you're dead.
You're dead. You're down.
Yeah, you're dead.
You're finished. You can't move on the fucking leg drop. Nobody moves on the leg drop. The leg drop was like hooking the leg. So there was that.
Right.
Little things like that you sit there and go, well, there are points that, yes, and then the business got to where you have to do everybody else's finish, kick out of your, have people kick out of your own finish 20 times before, you roll them up.
So we get 4 choke slams on Farooq here, and that brings Ahmed Johnson out, and he goes nose to nose with the Undertaker. Undertaker goes to choke slam Johnson. He ducks out of the way, hits the Pearl River plunge on Undertaker, and walks out. In a weird way, we've transitioned from Farooq as a heel and Ahmed's the baby face to now Ahmed's making the save against a babyface Undertaker, and now Ahmed's heel?
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea was here that, after the Ahmed was taken out by Farooq, that now Ahmed comes back, joins Farooq. If you can't beat him, join him. And that was the story that was attempted to be told there. I don't know if everybody got that because it didn't last that long.
Yeah, it did not.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.